Hello everyone, my name is Ritesh Osta and thank you for joining our webinar on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Data Replication. To introduce myself, I'm Ritesh. I'm a product marketing manager for DBSync, and with me I have my colleague Rishabh. And Rishabh and I are delighted to take you through a short presentation outlining the best practices for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Data Replication. Now, to talk a little bit about DBSync, the company itself, DBSync is a leading integration and data management service provider for on-demand and on-premise applications and workflow. All right. So now, with that, I am going to quickly ask Rishabh to go ahead and introduce himself, and then we'll proceed with the webinar. Rishabh?
Hi everyone. So I'm working as a product manager in DBSync, and we get in touch with clients, letting them know the benefits of replication. And I'll try my best to give some glance of it here as well.
All right. So Rishabh, can you just explain to everyone what today's webinar is all about?
Yeah. So we are going to talk about the best practices, how we can move, how we can replicate data from Microsoft Dynamics CRM 365 to different databases, and what are the best practices we should maintain while replicating this to different databases.
Okay. All right. Now, you have been talking about replication, Rishabh. So before you go ahead and tell several clients daily about the importance of replicating data and like so on. And before we talk about the importance of data replication, can you explain what data replication means to all the audience who are not very well aware of it?
Sure, Ritesh. So, see, replication is the process of copying database to another server and then keeping the two copies in sync so that they behave as closely as possible, right? As we can see here, the users can load their data to server, and then that can be the original data to the servers, and different users like user 1, 2, 3 can say it. Even we can keep a full replication of that particular copy of that data at different places, and different person can see it, right? And the process of replicating from Dynamics 365 involve like reflecting data made of Microsoft Dynamics platform in on-premise and on-demand databases during specific periods, like adding, updating, or deleting customers' data in Dynamics 365, or synchronized with the databases, syncing with the database in functional identical to synchronize from Outlook. Beside mirroring Dynamics 365, it helps in disaster recovery and historical data maintenance. So these are few things which users can this is the base concept of how data has been replicated, or what is data replication is.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much, Rishabh. And based on what you say, it's pretty much clear that SaaS applications like Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics CRM have been a center of the fuel for almost every market, helping thousands of business manage their marketing and customer data to gain new insights, right? And Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics CRM is also a centralized system to manage the data, discover opportunities, make better decisions, and like so on. Okay, so not surprisingly, replication tools have many functionalities that can help clients achieve their goals based on their business strategies. Now, as promised, let's get into the best practices or the most essential steps to consider when implementing SaaS replication strategy, especially for Microsoft Dynamics 365. So can you go ahead with that, Rishabh?
Sure thing, Ritesh. So I provide the high-level overview of the best practices while we should like best practices to follow while replicating data, which I have bucketed in several steps. So the first step is pre-installation. Pre-installation is like scope of replication, optimal server configuration, tools and libraries. The second step is installation. Then it comes the post-installation and miscellaneous. So I'm not touch basing everything right now. It's I'll go in few, like I'll move further and explain each and every step, so that we can be clear about what should be done and what should not be done while replicating, while like choosing your application process or strategies. So let's go it one by one. So we'll start with pre-installation. Now, the first thing in the pre-installation stage is like, here's the set of scope for the replications. Like, you have to think like what all the things what you want through your data replication instance, through your data replication strategy, what all things you are going to achieve. So that is the first scope that you have to think. It may not be necessary for replicating the entire environment. Like, you don't want to replicate everything you have in your Dynamics environment. Like, having more data replicated will result definitely in higher of costage. We have different webinars and blogs in our website, we can where we have talked about the storage cost, right? If you store more and more on your data on your servers, then that will make it more and more costlier for you. So it will be very costly if you replicate each and everything. So you have to make sure that how much data you want to store and what are the essential data, what you want to store to reduce the uh, cost and improve the essential like information uh, quality within your database. Now, it is crucial to choose between full replication or selection of selective replication, as this will ensure that your data storage costs do not unnecessarily rise. And consider your business use cases before determining the option, like optimal configuration of your server base. Okay, and like the data set to be replicated and how frequently they should be replicated. Now, in addition to that you also have to make sure that you have been provided with all the additional packages, for example, like Java, JDK, JRE, required to perform your application successfully. So this is like the basic things which you need to understand before starting your application environment. Now, moving next is next stages is like during installation, transfers should always be verified to ensure that you are properly executed. Like they are like all the transfers are properly executed. There will be some blips and even a slight error that might impact the data accuracy. Okay, so the Microsoft Dynamic environment should be tested in production, data relation, and anything else that will impact your user interact. Right. So that is like everything should be tested before you start moving your data. Verify it everything. Now your SaaS applications like Dynamics and Salesforce and databases that are being connected should be installed and configured, including all permission checks. You should perform a dry run after configuring both SaaS and database connections. So we have seen this like many times this happened that there are some permission issues from your Dynamics or say Salesforce environment due to which you are not being able to see all your data in databases. That not only confuse our clients, that also like create an havoc on their environment. Like what happened, where our data go, why it's not loading to our databases. So before starting the environment, make sure you are like and you have everything under control. You have tested everything and checked all the permissions. Now, the last thing is like get all the details about the folders, directories, structures, application, like use flows, steps, like everything, emails, SNTV, like everything you want to know and each and every steps that is going to be included in your replication process should be established. Like you should get all the details of these things and you should have everything handy with you so that you can work on those. Yeah. So I
Or
think, yeah, go ahead.
yes, please go ahead, Risha. Yeah, please go ahead.
So yeah, just I was just adding to it, like you should be able to like handle all the issues, or like you should be able to know everything from your database or limitations of your database and your SaaS applications. So yeah, that's what I was going to add on.
All right, that's great, Risha. I have a quick question here. Many time clients are preoccupied with the pre-installation and the installation stage, and they are not focusing enough energy on the post-installation stage. So remind us what's involved in the post-installation stage and why we have to ensure a singular source of truth for Microsoft Dynamics 365 updates.
Sure, it is. So, first thing, to maintain the consistency, we should always monitor job and read logs, right? And for details such as object counts, number of record process, sync status, time lapse, schedule, like as you can see my screen, right? We have a we have an option where the user can receive notifications on like when the process started, what all object added, field added. They can say, like get it on every day basis or a particular day. Even they can like give a update scheme, like give an option what they want to run on your application, and set up a time, and they don't have to worry about it. So this is nothing but they are getting the information, they are getting notification about each and everything that is happening to their databases. Like, so this is like a process, like they will monitor everything, anything happening at the time of replication with your data, you will be able to monitor it. You will know that what's happening, at what time our database will be updated, what time will run and command, and how the things have done. Is anything new added to our database or our application, or anything added or deleted? So these are the things which you should take care of. Now, next is to maintain the single source of truth, right? Now, multiple active environment can cause confusion. Like you have, say, 5 environments connected to your replication tools. So sometimes it might create conflict, right? Like this can be confused when like you have multiple environment and created at the same time. It's like it is possible for data conflicts and inconsistent record to cause problem in future, right? And like you need to identify the dynamics environment that will serve as the like team's main and trusted source of information. There has to be one proper production environment which will be there, so that you will know that okay, this information, this source, and the database is connected to this source will be the best source of information for us, that will provide us the main data, that will provide us the proper information, and that will be the truth, the trusted source of information. Now, as like a lack of unified environment will result in mistake being made, and like built upon, resulting in large hurdles in the future. Design source, so you have to like the designated source of truth must be communicated to prevent update from being made within the wrong environment, right? So you have to make sure that you have choose a particular source of truth, and that should be communicated within your team. Like everybody should know that everything, the every important thing has to be updated on this source of this particular environment, so that we don't miss anything, or any wrong information goes into that environment, or that environment is like left behind, and lack of information is there on which we are counting. So data is like it is very important, right, Ritesh? So if that is not maintained properly, it will create a lot of havoc in our environment.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Rishabh. I think we have covered a lot. So let me recap quickly for our audience. Okay. So we have discussed some key practices when building your application plan, choosing the scope and type of replication, engaging in regular and accurate monitoring, and ensuring a single source of truth for Microsoft Dynamics 365 instances. So, Rishabh, I have a question. Are there any additional practices clients should add in their arsenals?
Yes, there are a couple of more things that we should like. The first thing, to protect your relationship integrity and replication processes. So keeping track of dependency and relationship between various type of data is in an instance is crucial for ensuring that it is able to function properly in the long run. In the event that when the relationship are lost, dynamics performance will be negatively impacted. Like if you don't have that particular dependency and relationship between data types, that might change the scenarios in your environment and in database also. That might create different misreading of the data, right? That may change the data type, and that may change the data values. So that should be tracked. Now we need to ensure that data dependency are protected while using Dynamics 365 data. And data replication tools and detect and like perceive relationship between the objects. And it is like essential to note that dependencies on these type of often customizable, and they can usually be configured in replication tool settings. Like Salesforce relations performance will also suffer, as we are talking about uh, Microsoft Dynamics a lot. But as you can see, like I've added Salesforce in the, like this might be confusing that why I'm talking about Salesforce, because not only Dynamics, any SaaS application and Salesforce performance will also suffer if your like relationships are lost. So that's why I pointed this
Wow.
out,
Yes.
so that
Yes.
we don't only focus on Dynamics as we are talking about. Yes, this is like a dynamic heavy replication webinar, but like it's not only Dynamics. Salesforce is also equally hampered, and that's why at the whole webinar I added one Salesforce to grab attention. Like not only about Salesforce, it's not only about Dynamics. It's all about all the replication, all the SaaS application like Salesforce as well. So yeah, that's like
Fair point.
it's very important, Pritesh.
Fair point. Fair point. Thank you so much, Rishabh. That was certainly a very strong overview of what replication is and how important it is to have the data management strategy in place, right? Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Rishabh, for your detailed explanation and demonstration and helping us to get ahead in this journey. So for anyone in the audience, if you are interested in taking the next step, you can contact Rishabh himself or our sales team via email. The email address is sales@mydbsync.com. All right. And to learn more about our product and services, you can certainly visit our website at www.mydbsync.com. I would especially like to thank Rishabh for taking out time and explaining this concept. These are not very easy topics to discuss, but nonetheless, Rishabh, you being the product evangelist and the product manager, I found you to be the best person to talk about on this subject. So thank you so much for your continued support. We look forward to having more such meetings, right, Rishabh?
Yeah, definitely. I really like talking about this, and hopefully we'll
Yeah.
come up with more webinars on this kind of topics and enlighten
Absolutely, and that
ourselves
is what
and our
our audience
clients.
demands. Absolutely. So thank
Yeah,
you so much. You have a nice day ahead, and to all the audiences, thank you so much for joining in, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.
thank you. Thanks.